Last night we received another quote-unquote gameplay detail leak for Assassin's Creed Red. The game could include Japanese folklore and mythology such as stories about ghosts, demons, and yokai. The game will showcase a female character seeking revenge after her father's death. The story will be divided into two parts, 60% for male and 40% for female character. Ubisoft will release a DLC in 2025, which will focus on female character. Possible game release date, November 2024. This was seemingly posted to Discord by a user by the name of Mr_Whoisgamer. Now, as usual, we've got a lot to digest here, a lot to talk about, so let's just get into it. Before we even discuss those details and talk about what that could potentially mean for Assassin's Creed Red, we have to get a major big thing out of the way. That being, you have to take any leak for any game in any situation with a huge grain of salt, and that is exactly what we're going to do today. One of my recent videos that I made goes in depth on how I think every leak we see for a Ubisoft game is in fact, in my opinion, orchestrated by Ubisoft themselves to drive more views to the reveals and in the long run to drive more sales to their games. Now that is just my opinion and you can check out that video for more information on that. So anytime I see a leak for an Assassin's Creed game or a Ubisoft game in general, I'm always inclined to believe it's probably true just because if you look at the track record for Ubisoft games, they always do seem to be true. Their games easily leak with information and then later images or gameplay, and in more cases than not, they do end up being factually correct. Of course, you're going to see anomalies that are lies or fabrications, just like in Valhalla, when somebody tried to leak a quote-unquote gameplay screenshot for the game, but in reality, it turned out to literally be a screenshot from Shrek 2. So yeah, you can't take every leak on face value, you've got to look into it a little bit deeper. Now, with these leaks, I'll be completely honest with you guys, this guy has come out of nowhere with this apparent information. From what I've seen, and I've done a little bit of digging, I have not found any source, or he hasn't claimed to have a trusted source himself. He's just saying this shit. So that leads me to believe that, yeah, it's probably not true, but I want to talk about it anyway, because it is something people are going to talk about. It's something other content creators, not naming any names, but there will be specific people that will cover this and say, oh my god, guys, this is what's going to happen, da 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 da. So I'm here to say, okay, it's probably not true, but let's read it anyway, and maybe we will change our mind and think it is true, but we need to look at this realistically. And one more big major red flag is that someone asked, who are you? And he replied, trust me bro, with a sunglasses emoji because he's hiding the truth or something. I don't know, he's masking his emotions, I don't know. But he put that, which again is a major red flag. But nonetheless, let's get into detail on this. The game could include Japanese folklore and mythology such as stories about ghosts, demons, and yokai, if I'm pronouncing it right. Now, again, that could be an educated guess from the quote-unquote leaker, but it does make a lot of sense. We're going to probably see a lot of mythology in this game. There is so much real-life Japanese folklore that you can delve into, and especially with games like Odyssey, which was developed by the same section of Ubisoft, being Ubisoft Quebec. In that game, they dove into loads of Greek mythology. That was a big part of the game. So to think that with their next game being AC Red, yeah, they're probably going to dive into a lot of mythology. Whether that's a good thing or not for the player, that really depends on how you see the AC series. If you see games like Odyssey and Valhalla and potentially Origins being your favorites in the series, then yeah, you probably want more of that, so it looks like you're going to get more of that. Whereas if you're more of an OG AC fan, then you're probably going to be a bit turned off by that. Me personally, I'm just intrigued to see how it will play out. The game will showcase a female character seeking revenge on her father's death. Now, that's classic AC. That's pretty much the go-to story trope for Ubisoft when they want to make an AC game. You look at Assassin's Creed 2. Ezio's family were killed, he goes on a path of revenge. You look at Origins, Bayekanaya's son was killed, they go on a path of revenge. You look at Unity, Arno's father was killed, he doesn't really go on a path of revenge, but it kind of leads him down the path of the Brotherhood. So again, this could be a fake leak and just an educated guess by the person who's posted this, but if it is true, I wouldn't put it past Ubisoft to do another revenge storyline. As I said, there's so many of it in Assassin's Creed, so don't be fooled in thinking that Ubisoft are going to take a different route for the first time. It's probably going to be a revenge story. Story being divided into two parts, 60% for male and 40% for female character. We do know that the male character is going to be more of a samurai, a warrior, and the female character is potentially going to be the assassin, the stealth-focused character. Ubisoft will release a DLC in 2025. I mean, yeah, it makes sense. Why wouldn't they? If the game's coming out in November, just as this leak also suggests, of course they're going to release a DLC in 2025. It's their big flagship AC title going ahead, so yeah, makes sense to me. This is screaming complete fake BS to me. It really is. This guy just come out and typed it out on his Discord server or whatever in r/gaming leaks and rumors. He's just said something, people have jumped on it, and I guess I'm doing the same thing. So would I give any credence to this leak? Give it any legitimacy? Is it getting the exile stamp of approval? From me, I'm gonna say no on this one. I'm gonna say it's a hard pass. I'm gonna say for this leak, it just screams BS to me. Now, that doesn't mean this information might not end up being true, because again, as I said, I do think we'll see Mythology. It does look likely we are going to see 2 playable characters. And it makes sense that the game will come out in November, and it also makes sense that there will be a DLC the following year. So it makes a lot of sense. So I'm going to put this one down as an educated guess, which has then been dressed up by the user on Discord to look like a legitimate leak, when in reality, he's just yapping out of his ass, basically. That's my opinion. Could I be wrong, though? Could it be a real leak based off of real information? Yeah, it definitely could be. At this point, we're never going to really know. And again, that's why we have to cover all of these leaks, whether they are looking real or looking fake, because you best believe there's going to be tons of people that do take this as fact and think it is real. So I'm here to say, no, it's probably not real, but we're probably going to see something similar when the game does release. So what this can really do is more spark speculation, you know, with the AC community on what we think we are going to see. And I think that's where I'll pass the mic over to you guys and ask you the question. Firstly, do you think this leak is legitimate? Secondly, if we do see Japanese mythology and the like in Assassin's Creed Red, does that turn you on or turn you off to the series, etc, etc? Let's get a conversation going and build the AC community. One more thing I will point out, this could be a nitpick, but it's worth mentioning. In his first paragraph, the Reddit user says this game could include, and then in his next paragraph, he says the game will, the story will. So he says could and then will. If he's getting a legitimate leak, why is the legitimate leaker saying, well, I'm not sure about this one, but I do know about this one? Wouldn't the legitimate leaker just know? Or is he trying to make it look more realistic by saying he's not sure, but this he is sure of? I don't know. That's just a nitpick. That's just really analyzing it. Who knows? And there you have it. If you did enjoy this video, then you can press that like button because it really helps the channel out a lot. And if you want to subscribe to this channel, you will stay in the loop with everything Assassin's Creed Red, as well as just some cool videos on the AC series in general, such as this one and this one. I love you guys, mate. The father of understanding guide us. I will see you soon. Goodbye.